Hello, bestie. It's Coco, your divine oracle. How are you? I hope you're doing so well. Let's call in the deities, the angels, the deities of the light. I'm filming this pretty late, but these messages are coming through, and I've just been called to be here for it. All right, let's jump right in. I'm really being called. Ooh, there we go, right there. The macaw. Very interesting. Think laterally to solve a problem. So, this card, the macaw, is a very clever, ingenious little bird. And when it flies into your life, it is calling on you to think very differently about the way you approach problems. The macaw, they eat so many like seeds and nuts, and sometimes they eat things that are like actually poisonous or toxic to them, and they've developed a crazy strategy in order to combat those toxins that would give them a tummy ache. They actually fly onto these vertical cliffs and lash themselves, and they eat this like clay that it's like able to draw out like the toxins of these like specific nuts and berries and things, so that they can go and eat these berries and fruits and it doesn't actually harm them. The toxicity is drawn out by the clay and they just poop them out and it's all hunky-dory. So the energy that's coming through here is there's an energy here of looking to natural remedies. There's something here about healing in unexpected places or looking at alternatives to whatever the problem may be. It could be for some of you, I'm really picking up this like energy of like you're a green witch, of like herbalism, of, like really tapping into botanicals or like making like the OG medicine is food, right? So really, really being particular about the quality of your ingredients and like what you're feeding yourself right now. There's something about hunger, like I don't know why this is very specific. I'm hearing like carnivore diet or like changes of your diet, the way you eat, the way you consume. It's like very important right now. For some of you, I'm really feeling like gut health. You could be really looking into like probiotics, fiber, but I'm just feeling as if like it feels loose. Like you know what I like. I don't want to get gross. It just feels like you may be feeling a little bit shaky with your stomach. If that, like right here. So stomach aches or just really feeling as if like you want to lock down your gut health. That's a very specific message. I just feel like we went on a tangent, but the macaw, she took us there. All right. I did pick up on an energy of being, there's something about not having enough of what you need and too much of what you don't. So there's an energy here for the collective of just feeling as if like there's a lot of antagonistic forces. And they could be people, events, or just things that are happening in your life where you just feel as if like I don't need this right now. And a lack of resources, or like you may always like have enough to get by, but there's not like you don't have a cushion. It just feels as if there's something lacking. It just feels as if there's something missing, or like you want more security, I'm hearing or feeling. It just feels as if something is circling you. I'm seeing a snake in my mind, like in the leaves, and it's like you can feel some sort of like predation, financial, spiritual, but it just feels as if, there's something happening here and you're just not, you don't feel super secure about it. All right. Ooh, for some of you, you could be experiencing heartbreak. I'm seeing a telephone and you're leaving messages and nobody's answering. Absence of communication, feeling left out in the cold, and this may be a older like trigger point, but it just feels as if like there has been, and it's in your recent energy of like somebody left you on red. There's an energy here of not being seen, heard, appreciated, and it's connecting back to a previous hurt, maybe from childhood, maybe from a previous relationship, but it's like this feeling of abandonment, of not being acknowledged, and of not being like your needs are not being met, or like you're not being validated. Like if you're trying to have a conversation with someone and it's very like deep and meaningful and it's like we need to have this conversation, they just keep brushing it off. It's like, oh, but there's an energy here of like a recent slight that has occurred. Wands and Judgment, and it's the change that's happening in your energy is you're almost like divinely hearing, like you're sticking up for yourself, or it just feels as if like there's been a change occurring where you're able to see your own value, and it's very much like, okay, I don't have the patience for that anymore. Like when somebody shows you that they don't show up for you like that, you're like, okay, I see your true colors. And this is very recent. This literally could have been like 5 minutes before you watched this video. This could be happening real time. But there's an energy here of you being so done with the BS. And that might actually be a new way to self-medicate. Again, what could be toxic could be these people. And your own self-medication could be just like a change in your mindset and changing your like the way you approach it, or what you allow others to say or do or like behave with you, where you're no longer, yeah. All right. Now, Knight of Wands, there's an energy of fire, but like setting forth on a journey. What do I need to know about this journey, Spirit? What do we need to know about this journey? The collective is going on. It's about your own self-fulfillment and showing up for yourself. There's an energy here of you, and there it does feel what do I want to say? It's like this may not be a new journey for some of the collective. There's an energy here of like a refresh of energy, a revitalization where you're revitalized. There's a new wind, like there's a second wind, but it's all having to do with your own value and making yourself feel secure. Something about your security. These pyramids are calling out to me. So there's something here about like new knowledge coming to the forefront. Yeah, there's a lot of emotional energy here. So you're very deep in your cups. You're very deep in your emotion. And it's, there could be naivete, something naive, or like there's something here about, it's funny because it's like there's older energy, there's a maturity and a realization of like finally seeing yourself for your worth. But maybe this is a new path you're walking. And I'm not saying you're somebody who like could have been like you just take everybody's BS and you allow it. I don't see that for you. I do see you though as somebody who like you're nice, you're kind, but like there was an energy here of you appeasing others and then them walking all over you. And so now there's an energy of you finally like putting your foot down. And there's something here about like, I'm not going to be so nice anymore. And it's funny because it's like, when I look back, the people, like in your day-to-day life, like when you meet people and bestie, I love being a total weirdo in my own little world. The people that I connect with and like have the deeper relationships with, I was fully myself in meeting them rather than putting like, you know what I mean? Like the normal facade of like, I'm just going to be nice versus, going into it hot, like going, like where if I get a message from Spirit and just being like, I know this is totally weird, but I'm just like getting this like vibe, blah blah blah, whatever the message is. And for those where it connects, ooh, girl, it connects. But that's a great way for like weeding out where it's like you go like your presence front facing, front forward, like you forward, where it's like, this is who I am. And I'm not going to apologize for it. And if it doesn't necessarily, we do not like resonate, we don't align, that's great because guess what? I know you can go on your journey because I'm going to go on mine. I know I'm going to find my tribe and find those that orbit the same kind of, the tribe, the ecosystem. You're navigating new waters. You're navigating new waters. And this has to do with your emotions, right? Like, there's something here about you not necessarily knowing yourself. You're working on that. You're working hard on figuring out who you are. But also, it's like, you understand there's a long road ahead of for you, but there is fun, but this has also been a journey that you've been actively working on. And it's as if you are unlocking a new aspect. You've been on this journey for a while, but it's crazy where it just feels like you've gone this far, but you've opened a new door. And it's like, how did I not even realize? And it could be there's healing with like childhood wounds or something about healing your inner child here. And it's very interesting. It's like you've opened a new door by healing or like some sort of action in which you're actively working with your inner child, returning to things that made you happy in childhood. It's opening new doors and opportunities. There's a financial energy here that I really want to like tap into. I know. So this does have to do with your day-to-day work, your day-to-day life, with how you move in the world. I don't think I was meant for that. Yeah. Okay. There's something here. What do you need me to know, Spirit? What's happening? There's a new opportunity coming in. There is something that doesn't exist yet. So in your day-to-day routine, in the way you operate, so this could be a new job for some of you. This could be a new financial endeavor. It could be, this just feels like there's a new project on the way for you, and it is with financial regards and the way you make your money or like your income. It's like prosperity. So what do they need to know about this? What is coming in for the collective? Let me just get a clarification. Yeah. What do I need to know? Okay. So it is about you claiming your power with heartbreak. You could be doing a lot of healing work right now in regards to healing previous wounds, or like you're really, really delving into your pain, into the pain space. And I'm picking up an energy of like, you could be doing a lot of crystal healing right now. A lot of like, I'm feeling like jewelry. I don't know. Don't blame the messenger. These are just the messages coming forward. I'm really picking up something about like, I'm just seeing lots of crystals around you right now, or adorning yourself with crystals, putting crystals in places where you're going to feel more protected, grounded, and safe. And so dealing with heartbreak, and this could be recent or long term. For some of you, it could even feel as if these heartbreaks or this energy, it's like cyclical from like past lives, but you're doing healing work now. It's like you could also feel as if you're healing past life traumas, past life wounds. There's karmic cycles you are breaking. There are karmic cycles you are breaking. And it's like, you always wondered why it just feels as if like things are happening cyclically. Like, every 5 years there's a breakup, or like every 7 years there's a, a similar event, like three events that follow each other, and you're just like, why is it every, you know what I mean, so and so years, or every year around the same time the same little problems arise? It's different faces, same problems, right? Or like energies of that nature, but you're now stepping into your own power to heal and work your way through that. It's an acknowledgement of something you didn't want to acknowledge for like a long time. These two, okay. And there's an energy here of you caring for it. It could be other people, or you're giving a lot of attention and care to a like younger version of yourself. You could be doing healing in regards to like healing your inner child. There's this energy here of you being very protective of yourself, and you're finally seeing yourself very differently. Like you're maybe speaking kinder to yourself, but yeah. And finally, it's like the affirmations are being affirmed. Like, you've been doing a lot of work with manifestation, affirmations, trying to feel the reality, but there's no blockades. And now it took you a long time to realize, like, you may have been running away from the pain, and you've said to yourself, no, I'm moving towards success and whatever, but it's like you're running towards success, but you're still running away from pain of like not being enough, of insecurity, of maybe people made fun of you, or like there's just something about like inequality. People look down on you, and it's superficial. Not anything to do with who you are as a person, but people looking down on you based on outward appearances, about feeling, like you're less than, and for superficial reasons. But now you set your sights on healing that trauma and actually making your way to what it is you truly want, rather than like, oh, if I'm rich and successful, they have to respect me. And it's just like, you could be rich and successful, and then they don't even think about you, and you're like, you spent your whole life obsessing about old stuff. There's like a story, there were two like Buddhist monks walking in the forest by a river, and there was a noblewoman who was standing at the shore who wanted to cross the river, but she could get her dress wet. So one monk went up to her, picked her up, and carried her across the river and put her on the other side. And then for like an hour, the monks walked, and the one who had carried her walked in front, and the other monk walked behind him. And finally, he couldn't take it anymore, and he blurted out like, "Why did you pick up that woman? We took vows. We're not supposed to touch the opposite gender." And the first monk looked at the second monk, and he was like, "Why are you still carrying that woman? I put her down on the bank of the river like an hour ago." And it's like, there's an energy of like your motivation of why you're doing the things you're doing. And it's like you've held on to pain for too long, and you're finally beginning to see that. You're finally beginning to see how like these traumatic and painful events of the past have molded you, and how they show up in your life now. And it could be you're like, I don't want to be that person. It's very funny because I was just literally having this conversation of like, just because you had dysfunction in like the way your parents communicate or communicate with you doesn't mean you have to be like that moving forward in like your relationships. This is just a very personal example, but like take it how it resonates of like, say, like very specific of like, if you see your parents arguing all the time, and they, you know what I mean? They just want to cut each other down instead of actually having a conversation, or like anytime they have a disagreement, they just cut each other down rather than like face what the actual, and speak kindly to one another. And it's like realizing when you're with your partner, you don't have to impulsively mimic what your parents did just because you observed it. That it's like, I don't have to cut down my partner in an argument. We can have a conversation and not be so like, not go that route. You can choose a different solution and outcome, and you always have the choice and the power. You don't have to be chained to previous ways of doing things or the way you observed others doing things. Yeah. All right. Let's see if any other messages want to come forward. All right. Anything else for the collective? Speak up, spirit, or forever hold your peace. Okay. That seems to be everything for the collective right now. All right. I want to say thank you so much, Bestie, for being here. Let's thank the angels, the deity of the light, and all that call us to our higher good. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Bestie. Until next time. Bye.